Hey guys, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel. I hope all of my subscribers in the McMafia are doing well. This is my first hotel review video. I'm really excited to start this series. I think it's going to be super helpful for all travelers going to these locations. This, as you can see by the title, is starting at the Pestana Riverside in Amsterdam. Loved this hotel straight out the gate. Just gonna tell you that I loved it. There were some small bumps in the road, so we will get into that. I normally go to TripAdvisor and sometimes hotels.com when I am looking for like reviews of hotels. I'm very serious when it comes to my accommodations. One, because that's where I'm gonna be laying my head. And although I may not be spending a ton of time there, I am just as a function looking for a place to sleep, but you want to be comfortable where you are. You're already outside of space that you're comfortable with, and even if you bring your own throw pillow, bring your own pillow, it's something about just being really comfortable. And cleanliness, that is another big thing that I will be talking about in these videos. So I've structured it. I have like a list of things. I wrote them down, talking about the location, the pricing, the room itself, even the specific room number of the room that I stayed in, just to give you guys such good information. Whenever I would go on a website like TripAdvisor and start reading reviews, I like them and I really appreciate a good review, especially one with photos, because that kind of gives you that real look, and I always look at traveler photos. Forget the hotel photos. They're gonna put their best foot forward, so they're always gonna look really nice, especially if those photos of the hotel are when it was first built. Who knows how long it's been since those photos were taken and what it currently looks like after the wear and tear of having humans come in and out of it. So I really appreciate all reviews with photos, but the one thing I'm always looking for was for video. So I'm like, why don't I start doing that myself? I asked you guys on my community tab if you were down with that, and I got yeses all over the place. So this is the first one. I'm super excited. If there are certain categories that I don't hit and you're like, oh, I was wondering about that, please comment down below, and that will be the new structure. I will fill in any gaps possible that I would try for you, talking about amenities and the gym and things like that. But let's get started talking about Pestana, Riverside, Amsterdam. Let's get started. Let's talk about it. So just a little bit of background about the hotel itself, the building that it's in. When I landed at the airport and got in our taxi, the taxi driver said that it was built in a old library, and then like somebody else had heard that we were staying there, and they're like, oh yeah, it used to be like an old bank. So on the website it says it's an old town hall and archive, like an Amsterdam archive. So it is pretty cool. It does have some historical context if that's something that you're interested in, and you can tell that the character of the building was really preserved. Like that whole outside of it looks exactly, I'm assuming, what it looked like before, and that's what I loved. Like just from the outside and being right next to the river was just perfect. So that's just a little bit of history. Pestana, I'm hoping that I'm pronouncing that right. I couldn't find any videos of somebody saying it. So Pestana is what we are going with. It is part of a hotel collection, and they all capture this like really historic, polished room type vibe with a little bit of a modern twist. So I definitely will be looking out for other Pestana hotels to stay in the future if they are similar to my experience here. So first out the gate, let's just talk about location. My husband and I flew into Schiphol Airport. That is the major airport in Amsterdam. We had already been to Amsterdam before. This is our 4th time there, so we weren't interested too much in staying in like city center, meaning for me like Dam Square is kind of like city center, like closer inside of the city. So we were interested in staying out a little bit further out, and when I found this one I was like, okay, it's super cute, it's not too far. So it's about 20 minutes from that airport. It was, I will say, a little bit pricey for the Uber. It cost us 40 euro from the airport to Pestana Hotel. It is not like the hotel's fault. This is just like an extra piece of information, obviously, just so you know, like budgeting wise, what you're looking at. At the airport, they have very strict rules about what kind of Ubers and taxis can come in. So they're all eco-friendly cars, all hybrids. We rode in a super bomb Tesla with the little like suicide doors and all that. So that was super fun, but we like low-key paid for it. The guy did give us a business card and told us that on the way back we'd be paying less money, so I believe we ended up paying 25 euro on the way back, which was like a little bit more reasonable to me. But the drive, it was 20 minutes, but it seems like nothing. Like it's really super quick. You come out of the airport, you hop on the highway, you go a couple of exits down, you get off the highway, you're in like the town area, you ride along the river, and boom, the hotel's right there. So as I mentioned, this hotel is directly across the street from a river. There are also like river homes that are on each side of the river, which is really nice. I didn't exactly like pick this one out specifically for that, but it was definitely a great touch, especially because it's just super close to two walkable bridges that go across if you're on your way to more of the city center type area. We did walk about, I would say maybe 15 minutes. You're 4 seconds from a small cafe that is adjacent to the entrance to the hotel, and there's also a restaurant within the hotel. But as far as location, let me just like stick with that. So location around it, within 10 to 15 minute walk, you are passing several restaurants, a little grocery store, I mean bars, cafes, an electronics shop where we bought a converter. Like it's a town. Like you're in very much the city. There are plenty of places to go if you're looking for very local food. There were plenty of hamburger shops for whatever reason. Like that was very popular. So if you're down with some hamburgers, there are plenty of those. Liquor stores, you know, ABC type stores. They don't call them that in Europe, but that's what we call them here in the States. Ew, bug. Anyway, so plenty around within walking distance if you don't want to eat at the hotel, which I thought was great. And I'm saying river, not like swimmable, like let's hop in, more of like canal. If the river was within the canal. If you want to hop in there, go ahead and be my guest. But when we were there in May, it was definitely not warm enough to just hop in and start swimming. And I don't even know if it's legal actually to swim in the canal. So let's talk about the hotel itself and check-in process. When you first walk into the hotel, there are steps that go up the side, a significant amount of steps. So if you have luggage, definitely look out for that. There was some concierge that came out and were offering to get our bags. We already have them and we're halfway up the stairs. So there's that. So you just come into these beautiful glass doors, wonderful lobby, and it's pretty easy to find. The concierge is right there when you first come in the door, and then if you walk over to your right, that's when the check-in desk is. There's about 2 or 3 attendants at the check-in desk. It was afternoon when we arrived and it was pretty busy. You could tell there were still people that had maybe a light checkout and were coming in and out, and there were tons of luggage bags. So I will say that we ended up keeping our luggage there because when we arrived, we did arrive right at our check-in time, and unfortunately our room wasn't ready. I will say that it was extremely busy, and I have a feeling that maybe there was some kind of convention that was going on, because it's very much like a conference hotel as it is like a comfortable accommodation place. So there was a lot of busy activity happening. I wasn't too upset about the room not being ready. We were just tired and ready to put our bags down, so they did keep our bags free of charge, and then that's when we walked around, you know, the 15-20 minutes to find a restaurant. I wouldn't say that that was typical. I think they just had a lot going on at the time, and they were very apologetic about it. They were not like, okay, you know, your room isn't ready yet, just go and figure it out. Like, they were very apologetic about that. So that is good customer service right from a first impression. Like, walking in the door, I was really happy about that. Check-in process itself was pretty typical, you know, checking in, saying hello, we giving our names. It was under my name, so they took and checked my passport. They asked if the credit card that was on file would be the one that the room was going to be charged to. We booked this hotel on hotwire.com, which I love Hotwire. I don't know why I looked like sideways. I was like, Hotwire. But hotwire.com, we got lucky with the pricing as far as per night per room. Our room was already paid for already, so I wasn't too concerned about like the card situation, but there was a security deposit that was put on the card. So just make sure you have a credit card when you go. I unfortunately do not remember exactly how much the deposit was, but it wasn't anything significant because I wasn't like, oh gosh, like, when does my deposit come back? So small security deposit just for incidentals, but nothing too crazy whatsoever. So as far as pricing is concerned, we paid $226 a night. We stayed for 2 nights from the 9th to the 11th of May. I booked it in March, so that just kind of shows you like how far in advance I booked the ticket. Also through Hotwire, it was much cheaper. I qualified for like a 15% discount, I believe, just from being a member. So make sure to sign up for all those like wonderful hotel booking websites. Hotwire.com is great. It was one of the options of 4 that they gave me. If you don't know how Hotwire works, it basically is like you don't know exactly what room you're going to get or what hotel, but sometimes they will show you the options of like, it'll be guaranteed like 1 of 4 for this price, which was great. For the hotel itself, I would definitely pay that again. It was worth it. It's nice, it's luxury. So definitely not on your budget end, much nicer, very comfortable for the price itself. I felt good about it. I decided to do just like a quick Google. I just put in the hotel to see what rates would pop up for Google, and it looks like it's anywhere from $174 a night on hoteltonight.com, and then all the way upwards of $212, and that's on TripAdvisor. So that just kind of shows you the difference in price of what you're looking at per night. So moving on to the room, we did have a nice bellman who walked our bags to the room. If you go into the hotel, there is like one building and then there's a sky bridge that goes to a separate building. I do believe it was called the Diamond Building is where we were staying. So all we had to do was go into the lobby, go across the sky bridge, and then the room number itself was 4407, and within that number there's like a special way that it goes. So the room number was 4407, which is building number 4, 4th floor, and room 7. So 414 being the building, other 4 being what floor we were on, 7 being the actual like room number, but 4407 was the entire room number. Just so you know, like that. I get the email from the hotel because I had to ask them after I came back. I was like, what's my room number again? And that's something that I want to keep in all of my videos, is specifically telling you guys like what specific room I was in, so that you can have a similar or exact experience, at least know like on that floor itself. And that's why I will be putting in footage of the room in just a moment, so you can see exactly what it looks like. So moving on to the room, it was an awesome size room. It was just me and my husband. So for 2 people, when you first walked in, you had closets available. There was like a glass shower. It was really mid-century modern design, which I love, and it's super like Instagrammable. If you're like, hey, I really don't care about the gram, just for aesthetic pieces, it was very nice to look at. And it smelled great when we walked in, by the way. I don't know what kind of stuff they have going in the vents, but it smelled wonderful when we walked in. So private toilet, sink in the middle, glass shower, but it does have like some filter on it, so it's not like completely glass and see-through, so you can have some privacy. I mean, I'm assuming if you're sharing your room with a person, you're probably comfortable because you're going to be sleeping in the same bed. So awesome brick design that went over the bed and the TV, and floor to ceiling windows, and one of the windows was actually a door that we could open up completely and see outside, kind of like a Juliet balcony, not something that you can just like walk out on, but you could open it up and stand there, which I thought was really cool. We did have to move the nightstand to stand at the Juliet, but it worked out pretty well. And as far as function for the room, they did come with a little mini fridge, which was great because I went down to Lidl, like I mentioned, and got like some breakfast items and like a little bit of yogurts and some bread and stuff, and we put that in the fridge. Also a Keurig type machine. I usually don't drink hot drinks like teas or coffees, but that is available for you if it's something that you're interested in. And they did have a complimentary bottle of water, which was also great. Didn't have any issues with the TV. The TV had a bunch of channels. It was already on when we came in the room, and it had like Pestana, Riverside, like Welcome, Kelly McFall, which I thought was like really nice. So I'd already mentioned the shower, but as far as like shower pressure, I didn't have any issues with that. I'm someone who likes a lot of shower pressure. Like I want it to come on to me. Like it needs to like, I don't want any like any trickling happening. Didn't have any issues with that. The toilet wasn't like super loud or anything that really was memorable. So toilet worked just fine. Water was fine. It got hot really quickly. The shower head itself was really functional and worked out. It was one that you like pick up and you like can spray onto yourself or put it up at the top, which I thought was really nice. That gives you an option. The sink, I like it being outside of the bathroom because it's just a little bit more functional having 2 people in the room. Like my husband could be in the shower and I'm at the sink, and I don't have to be like, you know, there with all of like the hotness from the shower and stuff that I don't want. And then the toilet being on its own was also great because, you know, if you're like doing your business, like sometimes you don't want the other person to be in there, but you're both trying to get ready at the same time. So not only was it functional, it was also very nice to look at, and it came with robe and slippers, which is like not always a thing that you get at hotels, like even luxury ones sometimes. So no, I did not take it home, and that is something that I keep at the hotel, but I definitely used that the second I got out of the shower. I just slipped into my little slippers and put on my robe, and then we took a nap the second we got into that room. So as far as the room and noise levels, like I mentioned, it is right on the river, which is also right on a main road, which is totally fine. I couldn't hear any of the traffic. If I looked out of my Juliet window, I could turn my head and actually see the road itself, but we didn't hear any traffic or any cars. It was pretty quiet as far as inside of the room itself. People in the hallway, didn't really hear too much. And the housing staff, the housekeeping, they were really awesome. You know, they did a nice light knock on the door, didn't open it up within like 5 seconds, because that's something that will irritate me very fast when it comes to staying at hotels, is like housekeeping staff that just like gives 2 seconds of a knock and like busts in your room, and you're like, okay, cool. Because sometimes you forget to put your little, you know, holder on the door that says do not disturb. So they were really good about that. coming and collecting towels. I think I asked for some more shower gel and that was like super easy. They gave it right to me right off the cart. So no issues there. Housekeeping was nice, staff nice overall, no noise in the room. Thumbs up for those. So getting into amenities of the hotel itself, there is a restaurant, there is a full bar, there's an ATM, there's an indoor pool, there's a spa, a fitness center, all of those things that you would expect from a like upper level like luxury hotel, which was really nice. And the ATM didn't charge me crazy. Once again, I don't remember specifics of what it was, but it didn't charge me a lot. I did use it twice because I was just strictly unprepared, but it was definitely a better rate than I would imagine what the ATMs would be at the airport. Like, it wasn't crazy airport price, and of course whatever your bank institution charges you, it's going to be on top of that fee, but the fee was smaller. There is plenty of seating areas. There is like a small business center. From what I saw, is maybe like 1 or 2 desktop computers. Not sure if they had a larger business center for those who may be traveling on business, but I'm sure that's something that you can inquire about if you were to book that hotel. I sent them an email before to the concierge, maybe like a couple of weeks before, and asked them about rooftop bars. Super important, guys, super important information. But they were like really nice, and they came back with like 4 or 5 different locations of rooftop bars in the city. So I was overall impressed. They even gave me links to the websites to those places. So definitely use the concierge if you have questions before you go. They were really nice about it. And also, like I mentioned, I emailed them after my stay, like a whole month and a half after my stay, and was like, hi, what room number was I in? And they got right back to me within a day. So great customer service on that end, and plenty of amenities. I did not go to the spa or the pool. I wasn't really interested in it, didn't need it for this trip, but if I were to go back, trust and believe a sister will be in there, because I can only imagine how nice it is with the rooms being so nice. So just as an overall experience, I would go back. That's always like my meter of satisfaction, is like, would I return? What would I change? The only thing that I would change was our room being ready when we arrived. Like I said, it wasn't too much of a deal because they took all of our bags. If they had said, hey, you know, our bag drop off is full, we can't take it, I probably would have been a little bit more irritated. We did just get off the plane after a long journey, and it would have been nice to check in, but I understood it was very clearly busy and they were very apologetic about it, so I will give them like credit towards that piece. Everything else was great. It was really easy to get Ubers from that location. We walked to a really cute breakfast place. If you watch my vlog, that is in there, the Breakfast Club. That was within walking distance. I like walking in Amsterdam. It's a very walkable city as it is, and if you do have to use Ubers, they are not cheap, I will say that, but we had no issues with either being dropped off from the hotel in an Uber or being picked up from the Ubers. All the Ubers came within like 5 or 6 minutes. It like was not that big deal at all. I will say another piece just to remember for somebody like me who has to pee on a dime, especially after a night of drinking, the elevators are on the slower side. It's an older building, so I would kind of like just link those two. I'm assuming it's just because the building is older, but if you're someone like me who waits until the last minute and has to go to the restroom, and then an elevator takes a long time, I use the stairs. I went all the way 4 flights up the stairs because the stairwell is right next to the elevator. So just a little piece to think about. If there is anything out of this review that you're like, hey, I'm wondering about X, Y, or Z, please put that comment down below. And if there's like a whole other category of stuff that you feel like I missed, definitely put that down below. And like I said, this is my very first hotel review. I had footage and pictures and documentation, so I hope that part was helpful. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's chat. Let's chat about it. Have you stayed at this hotel before? What did you think about your experience? Is there anything that you would have changed about yours? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. Thank you to everybody. Please hit that subscribe and give it a thumbs up if you liked this video. There are more hotel reviews to come. I have Las Vegas coming up. I have Pestana, Italy coming up. So those are 2 just to look forward to. And I will see you guys next time in my next video. Bye-bye.